You're standing in the egg aisle, staring at a price tag that says $4 and change for a dozen eggs. You blink. You check it again. Last year, this carton cost you roughly half that. Your salary hasn't budged, but somehow breakfast got a promotion. Now here's the weird part. The reason that carton costs more didn't start in a henhouse. It didn't even start in America. It started in a windowless conference room in Tokyo, where a central banker quietly adjusted a number on a spreadsheet. And that tiny adjustment rippled across an ocean, through Wall Street, past a feedlot in Iowa, and landed right in your shopping cart. So why does Japan selling bonds make your omelet more expensive? Okay, let's zoom out. Most people blame egg prices on one villain, bird flu. And sure, avian influenza is real and devastating. But that's only half the story. The other half lives in a world you never associate with breakfast, the global bond market. Think of it this way. Your egg price is a sandwich with two layers of pain. One layer is disease. The other is debt. Here's what almost nobody talks about. Japan is the single largest foreign holder of U.S. Treasury bonds. We're talking roughly $1.1 trillion. That's not a typo. Trillion with a T. When Japan's central bank changed one policy in Tokyo, it gave Japanese investors a reason to sell those American bonds. And when $1 trillion worth of bonds hits the market, interest rates don't just nudge upward, they jump. In October 2023, the 10-year Treasury yield nearly touched 5%. Now, why should you care about a bond yield? Because that yield is basically the price of borrowing money in America. It sets the floor for every loan, your mortgage, a car payment, and yes, the credit line a poultry farmer uses to buy chicken feed. When that number rises, it's like gravity getting stronger. Everything in the economy gets heavier to carry. And the heaviest load falls on the people producing the cheapest things you buy. Let's trace this chain link by link. In July 2023, the Bank of Japan made a historic move. They widened their yield curve control band, letting Japanese bond yields rise to 1%. Then in March 2024, they scrapped the whole policy entirely. Why does that matter? Because Japanese banks and pension funds had a deal for decades. Their own bonds paid almost nothing, literally zero. So they parked over $1 trillion in American treasuries instead. Suddenly, Japanese bonds started paying real returns. Homes started looking attractive again. Now imagine the US Treasury market as a giant auction hall. When the biggest buyer in the room starts selling, prices drop. And bond prices move opposite to yields. So yields surged. By October 2023, the 10-year Treasury yield hit roughly 5%. That hadn't happened in 16 years. Here's the key insight. That 10-year yield isn't just a Wall Street number. It's the heartbeat of American borrowing costs. Every farm loan, every equipment lease, every corporate credit line takes its cue from that single number. When it spikes, borrowing money gets expensive for everyone downstream. Now follow the dominoes into your grocery store. Mid-tier poultry producers finance everything on credit. Feed, barns, ventilation, biosecurity upgrades after bird flu outbreaks. In 2024, those producers faced effective borrowing rates between 7 and 10%. That's nearly double what they paid a few years earlier. Picture running a restaurant where your rent just doubled overnight. You have two choices: eat the loss or raise menu prices. Producers chose survival. They raised prices. The USDA reported average egg prices exceeding $4 a dozen by early 2025. Research from the St. Louis Fed shows something striking. A 1 percentage point rise in long-term rates adds roughly 0.3 to 0.5 points to food inflation. That effect compounds across every step: the farmer, the processor, the distributor, the retailer. Each one borrows. Each one passes the cost forward. By the time that egg reaches your cart, it carries invisible interest from 4 different loans. So here's the misconception most people carry around. They think egg prices are simple. Hens got sick, supply dropped, prices rose. End of story. And that's a comforting narrative, because it has a clear villain, a virus. But the reality is messier and more fascinating. Bird flu raised the ceiling on egg prices. But Japan's bond sell-off raised the floor. Even when flocks recover, even when supply bounces back, those borrowing costs between 7 and 10% don't just vanish overnight. They're baked into every new barn, every biosecurity upgrade, every truckload of feed bought on credit. Think of it like this. Your egg price is standing on a ladder. Bird flu pushed it up a few rungs, but rising Treasury yields raised the entire ladder off the ground. You can cure every sick chicken in America tomorrow. That ladder is still elevated, because the cost of money itself got more expensive. 100 basis point jump in long-term rates adds up to half a percentage point of food inflation. That's not a one-time hit. It compounds across 12 to 18 months through every link in the chain. So the verified reality is this. Your grocery bill is a global document. A policy change in Tokyo raised yields in New York. Those yields raised borrowing costs in Iowa. Those costs raised prices in your neighborhood store. The 10-year Treasury yield is not some abstract Wall Street trivia. It is, quietly and invisibly, the most important price in your kitchen. And most people have never even heard of it. So here's your takeaway. 2 numbers to watch from now on. First, the 10-year Treasury yield. Think of it as the weather forecast for your wallet. When it climbs, everything you buy on credit, and everything made with credit, gets pricier. Check it once a week. It takes 5 seconds. Second, watch the Bank of Japan policy announcements. I know that sounds absurd, but Japan holds the single biggest foreign stash of American debt. When Tokyo shifts, your grocery bill follows 12 months later. The world is more connected than any grocery aisle suggests. A spreadsheet change in Tokyo becomes an interest rate in New York. That rate becomes a loan in Iowa. That loan becomes the price on your eggs. Now you see the invisible thread. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. So next time egg prices jump, don't just blame the chickens. Check the bonds.